in the next 10-15 minutes or so, you're going to start to hear things going downhill very, very quickly. And what happens now with this overall line of thunderstorms, the farther east and southeast that it gets, it starts to do two things. It increases its forward speed, so it gets through eastern Kentucky very quickly, but it also, in increasing that forward speed, we're going to tone down the thunderstorms the farther south and southeast that you get. So that severe weather threat tonight will diminish the farther south and southeast that we go with this line. So severe thunderstorms right on top of the Salvisa area here into Mercer County, Lawrenceburg. Here's the Bluegrass Parkway. Boy, those potent winds showing up right on top of the Willisburg area. I'm not seeing any spin in here, but you can see a pocket of some damaging winds heading right toward parts of Mercer County, the Harrodsburg area. That line of thunderstorms around E-Town is marching its way on through, and you've got what we got to watch for, some little kinks out here showing up where you get these bows. It's typically right on the northern side of a little bit of a bow, where you can sometimes get just enough spin to spit out an isolated weak tornado. As so far, it's only radar signatures that we've been seeing with this line for the past couple of hours, but a lot of real estate now under severe thunderstorm warnings. Bluegrass region, that new severe thunderstorm warning now extending all the way into northern parts of Bath County into Fleming County as well. And this is one of those events where you've got a massive line that is heading your way. So Weather Service can get way in advance of this, knowing that that line is heading into a particular area. For instance, look how far removed we are here in Fleming County from where the line actually is. But it is picking up that forward momentum, so it's going to race on in as we go through the next little bit into Fleming County and into Mason County. And that small little area of tornado warning likely to go by the wayside coming up here very, very quickly. Out ahead of all this, we're seeing some individual showers and thunderstorms that are more noisemakers. We're going to watch how these thunderstorms kind of interact with this line briefly. Sometimes when you get thunderstorms to kind of merge into a line like that, it may try to set one or two parts of that line off to spin just a little bit. We'll see about that. Hopefully that's not the case, but I do think within the next 1 to 2 hours, we're going to start to see a little bit of a weaker signature as the storms get to the south of Lexington, to the south of Richmond. You should see this stuff speeding up and starting to calm down just a little bit. So right now, this is more of a damaging wind signature that is showing up, even though we just now see the Weather Service up in Wilmington, Ohio, extend that tornado warning to include Maysville here into Mason County. So that tornado warning goes now into the Mason County area. And what we can do, we can take our radar back into that part of the world. We're going to slow this thing down and we'll inspect that storm as it makes its way toward the Maysville area here into northeastern Kentucky. There's the current picture of what we're dealing with, and we'll take this a little farther to the north and northeast to get a better look at the spin that may be heading toward Maysville. It's not the greatest rotation in the world, but in a setup like this, you typically don't get a massive tornado signature because chances are for getting even a weak tornado out of this, the signature on the radar is going to be very, very weak and hard to detect. And I'm looking at this and I'm looking at this and thinking that tornado warning is more precautionary with just a little bit of a kink that does try to show up here as we make this line race toward the AA highway here into Mason County, the Brooksville area, down into Mount Olivet, Robertson County. But again, Fleming County, that is just to our north into the Mays Lick area and up into Mason County with that severe thunderstorm warning that goes out ahead of this. It is on the northern edge. You hear me? If you guys have been with me for years talking in severe weather setups like this, when you have a little bit of a bow, it is typically right on the northern edge, the pinhead, if you will, of that bow where you can sometimes get a little spin. Now, looking at the radar returns, this thing is starting to come down just a little bit, which is really, really good news. So here we go, Lexington. Storms kind of splitting us with those warnings. We got a severe thunderstorm warning to the northeast of us into Bourbon County, Nicholas County, and we got one into southern parts of Woodford County down into Jessamine County. But that line of thunderstorms is going to zip its way across Lexington coming up here in just a matter of a few minutes. And we'll watch this stuff into Salvisa, into Harrodsburg, going to head toward Nicholasville, Woodford County, Danville, eventually may get in on some of this, but I look inside this and all I'm seeing are some big time winds that are showing up here, right behind that initial, what is likely to be a shelf cloud, but you can't see it because it's dark, but that is making its way through. Once that comes through, winds are going to really crank, and you may have those winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour. Severe thunderstorm warnings back here across the western part of Kentucky as well. And again, those thunderstorms out ahead of the main line continue to race their way on in from southwest to northeast. So we're watching the little bows that are showing up across central and northern Kentucky with this line snaking its way back toward the southwest into sections of the Bluegrass Parkway toward Interstate 65. Folks here in eastern Kentucky, we're hearing the thunder. We've been hearing it for a while, and we got to watch a setup like this. Notice how this is a 2-hour radar loop, by the way. So I keep my hand in this general vicinity. It's not a ton of coverage in terms of those thunderstorms, but in the mountainous areas here, you get under a couple of those on any one location, you can get some quick rises on your creeks and streams. Now, it's crazy to be talking about possible local flash flooding when we're dealing with what essentially is a drought this spring. We're running over the past 6 months here in Kentucky since, late October, I guess, for a 6-month window. We're running deficits of anywhere from 6 to as much as 13 inches below normal over the past 6 months. So we've had a quiet, severe weather spring here into Kentucky. This is our first event of the entire month of April, and here we are with just a few days left in the month. Nobody's complaining about the lack of severe weather, but it is the lack of thunderstorms as one of the reasons we are in drought conditions across the Commonwealth of Kentucky. These rains, though, going to really put it down, and we'll continue to watch the storms as they make their way across central Kentucky. And in particular, that little line that is just to the west of Lexington, likely now going to spit out some pretty good winds as it makes its way across the west side of Fayette County and down into areas of Nicholasville there into Jessamine County. We'll go in and look at this anyway, because that little bit of a bow in there, not seeing any spin with that, but again, some pretty good winds are going to show up on the west side of Lexington, down into Jessamine County and parts of Woodford County as well. So to recap everything with where we are, we have a severe thunderstorm watch that is out for all the real estate in yellow. That goes until 4 a.m. Now, should that have been extended east? Yeah, because we got warnings now outside of this particular watch that goes until 4 a.m. And those warnings that are showing up here into northern and northeastern Kentucky. And by the way, that new severe thunderstorm warning just popping in here into Fayette County. So the southern edge of Fayette County, as we suspected, we were literally just zooming in on this particular storm a moment ago. That is where we now have that severe thunderstorm warning, and that severe thunderstorm warning goes down into Richmond toward Winchester. We are included in this particular severe thunderstorm as well, with this line that is making its way on through. But yeah, that was the one that was catching my attention there. That's why I jumped off screen, just to kind of move the radar a little bit to show you that particular part of our cell. When it starts to bow out a little bit like that, I look at the northern edge of that just to see if there's any little bit of spin like what we've been seeing with the northern edge of this particular bow into northeastern Kentucky. But it's the south side of Lexington dealing with this severe thunderstorm warning. North side, your worst is right on top of you as of right now. So we've got the severe thunderstorm warnings that are out Carlisle over toward the Flemingsburg area, and that little spin from Mount Olivet toward Maysville. We'll keep a close eye on that. Mason County, tornado sirens going off right now with this tornado warning that is out for a little bit. It's ready to expire coming up here shortly into Robertson County, with the cell that is right on top of Robertson County is heading toward Mayslick and especially the Maysville area. But the northern edge of this storm is weakening, so that is likely losing some steam, which means it's also going to be losing some rotation. We're going to watch this very closely with the worst of this storm into Nicholas County, heading out of Carlisle, heading toward Flemingsburg and the northern tip of Bath County. Storms across Lexington, I mean, these things are racing through here. So I mentioned how they're going to start to pick up that forward momentum. They're going to pick up the forward speed very, very quickly. Hey, Lexington, you know what? It's on us, and in about 15 minutes, it's gone. The worst of it is out of here. We'll watch this. This is the area where we're likely getting in on some damaging winds as of right now. That is heading out of southern parts of Woodford County and right toward the city of Nicholasville. So out of the Nonsuch area here into Woodford County, heading toward Wilmore, heading toward Nicholasville, and eventually folks here into Madison County and the Richmond area, we're going to have to deal with this. So right on top of the south end of Lexington into Madison County, northern tip of Garrett County as well. That severe thunderstorm warning goes all the way back to Salvisa and Harrodsburg, but the worst of the damaging winds is likely right in here into parts of Jessamine County, rolling toward Nicholasville. And that pocket of some big time winds is showing up here into Mercer County too. We may have some gusts greater than 60 miles an hour. That can cause some power outages. We already had a lot of power outages from earlier storms across central Kentucky. Down the BG Parkway, Bardstown to E-Town. No warnings are out, but you got another little bow that is showing up here into the Litchfield area, Grayson County, that goes back toward Morgantown, and then arcs its way back toward Madisonville and the Crofton area. But the thunderstorms racing out of Tennessee, loaded with lightning, those are going to impact southern Kentucky. And the storm interaction, we'll see what happens as those storms meet up with the cells that are leading the charge into this overall line that is zipping its way on through. And as the old saying goes, you ain't seen nothing yet. As soon as this line gets to the south of roughly Richmond and Danville, the forward speed on this thing is going to be trucking, and it is trucking along, and by the time you get to 5 o'clock in the morning, that thing is down into southwestern Virginia, and that's going to make up a lot of real estate in a short amount of time. But that is what we are dealing with right now with these lines of thunderstorms right on cue. It's our first, it's our only severe weather event for the entire month of April. How crazy is that? You go back to last year when it was just wall-to-wall severe weather in the springtime around here. That is certainly not the case this year. Thankfully, unfortunately though, the lack of any thunderstorm action getting us into some dry conditions out there. That spin that was showing up heading toward Maysville, as I expected, that is weakening out right now. That line continues to make its way very quickly into Mason County. The northern edge of that is weakening. Mount Olivet, Robertson County, you guys are all clear right now from any tornado threat. What we're dealing with those thunderstorms that are on top of Carlisle, heading toward Flemingsburg, the Hillsborough area, that is a severe thunderstorm warning that is out for you folks here. We can go in and look at this line of thunderstorms as well. Likely more of a damaging wind threat that is heading toward the Flemingsburg area and into the Lexington area. We'll see these thunderstorms on the south side of town that are much stronger than the storms on the north side. And now that we're going to get the merger with these cells that are racing to the north, coming out of Lancaster, coming out of parts of Paint Lick and over into Madison County, those storms interacting with that line of thunderstorms, a lot of this just going to become a major noise maker and a heavy rain maker into the next few hours as this line weakens the farther south and southeast that we go. But as always, we keep a very close eye on it. So right now, severe thunderstorm warnings are out into Clark County, into Madison County, into Jessamine, Fayette County, southern parts of Woodford County, northern sections of Garrett County, over into Mercer County as well, where pockets of damaging winds up to 50 and 60 miles per hour. We'll look inside these thunderstorms, though I'm not seeing anything that is getting my attention in terms of any kind of spin within these storms. More of a damaging wind and straight line damaging wind threat. And quickly behind this, it's just heavy rain that is showing up now from Georgetown, Versailles, and north and northwest. Lexington, we told you this isn't going to last very long. And the worst of this is kind of splitting Fayette County. Nobody will complain about that. Unfortunately, we don't want anybody to be dealing with severe weather, but we need all the rains that we can get. There's your busy radar picture. This line zipping its way into eastern Kentucky. I'll watch some of these areas down the Mountain Parkway. You get toward the Red River Gorge, you get parts of Wolfe County, Morgan County, Breathitt, Magoffin. These thunderstorms that have been moving through there over the past little bit on a local scale have put down some pretty good rains, and with additional thunderstorms making their way on through over the next hour to 3 hours, you may have some hit and run high water concerns. Crazy how quickly things can take a turn in the world of weather here across the Commonwealth, and what has been an incredibly warm and dry spring now turning a little wet tonight with severe thunderstorms. Our first severe weather of the entire month of April across central and eastern Kentucky. And now we're going to go into a cooler spell later this week and into early May. And before May is over, I think May is going to wind up cooler and a little wetter than normal across the Commonwealth of Kentucky. We're on pace to wrap up the month of April, by the way, in Lexington as maybe the top 2 or 3, if not number 1. Warmest Aprils on record. How about that? All right, there's your radar picture yet again. A recap of the severe thunderstorm watch that is out until 4 a.m. It's wild to see those severe thunderstorm warnings now well to the east of that watch that is out across parts of central Kentucky. This is what we talk about all the time. Severe weather, it does not care about your watch. It does not care about where the boundaries are on any particular map. Severe thunderstorm warnings that are showing up in the yellow, and that one lone dog of a tornado warning continues up into Mason County. However, that storm, I can't even call it a storm now, as a lot of the lightning within Mason County has kind of come down a little bit. That storm is weakened and is a shell of its former self. But these little bitty bows that are showing up representing pockets of damaging winds, and we'll continue to keep an eye on Lexington. For the most part, I think we are okay. In about 15 minutes or so from now. Now, I say that, I'm talking about in terms of any severe weather threat. We're still going to have a lot of heavy rain. We're going to have a lot of gusty winds. It's going to be noisy. And yeah, these thunderstorms continue to make it a little on the noisy side for the overnight. I'm looking to see the peak gusts I could find so far in Lexington. We've peaked at Bluegrass Airport at 43 miles per hour so far with this line of thunderstorms. 44 miles an hour on the north end of town. Just seeing a 50 mile per hour wind gust into Mercer County with that line of thunderstorms. And that's the one that you could see that big pocket of wind that is showing up as we look inside this. So when you see on the radar picture right in here, the little bit of higher reflectivity that is showing up around Harrodsburg, you can see how we are indeed picking up on some pretty good winds that are making their way across the Mercer County area. But even that is coming down just a smidge compared to what we were dealing with a little bit ago. So let's give you another radar update. I mean, it's the middle of the night. What else we got to do, right? We're here to keep you guys safe, here to keep you up to date with the severe thunderstorm warnings that are out in yellow. That now includes Mason County, where you also have that tornado warning just for a couple more minutes. That tornado warning probably should have been canceled already. Severe thunderstorm warning into Fleming County, now into Bath County, part of Menifee County, a western part of Rowan County, down into Montgomery County. That is Clark County, Madison County, northern Garrett County, Jessamine, southern Fayette, small part of southern Woodford County, and now a little sliver of real estate here to the east of Harrodsburg into Mercer County. From there, we got another severe thunderstorm warning that is into southern parts of Hardin County, down into Hart County. That extends back toward the Litchfield area of Grayson County as well. And these storms, as they continue to race toward the east and southeast, going to still contain some pockets of damaging winds, but overall they're going to do two things. They're going to speed up in the overall movement. The forward movement is going to take these things out of Kentucky by the time 5 o'clock rolls around. It's already, whatever, a little quarter after 2 o'clock or so. By 5, those thunderstorms are down into southwestern Virginia, and the storms are also going to be weakening as well, the farther east and southeast that we get with those thunderstorms. Let's give you a radar view, or we have been giving you a radar view. Let's look at our WKYT tower cam right now. That's called raining to beat the band, y'all. That is a potent thunderstorm that we're looking at from our WKYT tower cam. Westchester Road down below us there. We're looking on that western sky. And what we can do, we can go into downtown Lexington to show you the sheets of rain that are showing up, all that vivid lightning that is out there too. Boy, these thunderstorms all day long from western Kentucky into where they are now into central and eastern Kentucky, loaded with a lot of lightning. They're more bark than bite, which is really, really good news. We like when storms, they bark and they don't bite. Unfortunately, some folks are catching a little bit of a flesh wound with these storms as they continue to make their way on through with some of that bite that is showing up. So severe thunderstorm warnings into the Lexington metro, that line of thunderstorms, even the overall structure of this line is starting to fall apart. It's becoming much more ragged as of now. The worst of the weather, worst of the storms appears now to be right on top of south side of Lexington, Nicholasville, Wilmore, down into the northern tip of Garrett County around Bryantsville. Folks in Lancaster, a lot of this, at least the worst of it, is off to our north. Hey, if you're watching us right now into Richmond, northern part of Madison County, folks up around the Red House area, over toward Doylesville, living near Boonesboro and the Athens area, and that's the Athens-Boonesboro exit there on Interstate 75 in the southern part of Fayette County. We've got to keep an eye on this line of storms as it makes its way on through Winchester, south side of Winchester, southern parts of Clark County getting hit a little harder than the north side. There's that little bitty break. That's where we have two different National Weather Service offices, and that's where their jurisdictions collide, if you will, from Montgomery County under the jurisdiction of Jackson and Clark County and Bourbon County under the jurisdiction of the National Weather Service in Louisville. So these thunderstorms are making their way on through as we speak. More noise than anything else. We'll continue to watch these for you, as severe thunderstorm warnings are likely to continue for about another hour or so, but these storms are moving so darn quickly they'll begin to lose some steam within the next 1 to 2 hours, but getting in on some beneficial rains. We'll give another check of the Bluegrass Airport just to see how the winds are out there. Looks like we're getting ready to get a tornado warning into southern Hardin County, part of Grayson County and Hart County. That would be with a storm that earlier had a tornado warning. That would be this cell, and that would be south on 75 or 65 here into the Upton area, into southern parts of Hardin County. So the E-Town and Hardin County tornado sirens will be going off shortly, and there's that new tornado warning, Magnolia area included in this. It's just to the southeast of Litchfield. What we'll do, we'll slow this thing down, go inside this storm, see what we can find with this, see the rotation. And again, it's not the greatest in the world, but it is one of those little kinks that may be producing a quick little tornado spin up as it makes its way into the southern part of Hardin County coming up here in the next little bit. So down toward Magnolia, and it is right on top of the Hardin and Hart County line. Should be crossing I-65 coming up here in just a matter of 10 minutes or so. That's the only tornado warning that is into central Kentucky. We continue with tornado warning up into Mason County. For some strange reason, the storm is completely out of Mason County into northern Kentucky as of right now. They're under the jurisdiction of the National Weather Service that is up into Wilmington, Ohio. But as you could see, there's your tornado warning. Where's the storm? It's down into Flemingsburg. So any spin with that is pretty much gone here into Mason County. So that continues to make its way on through. Sometimes in a setup like this, the radar it can show some mid-level spin, some rotation, but you know what? It's the lower level stuff that you have to be concerned with. That severe thunderstorm warning now extended over into Lewis County, including the Vanceburg area along the AA highway into northeastern Kentucky. So all kinds of severe thunderstorm warnings along this line, and we'll go in just for good measure here to make sure I'm not seeing anything that is concerning with this line into the Bluegrass region. We are not, and pretty good winds are showing up here into the Montgomery County and Bath County line. When you start to see that really sharp gradient there, that's when you know you're dealing with a pretty good line of some high winds between Mount Sterling and the Owingsville area and up into Flemingsburg as well. So those are some stout winds that are making their way across Montgomery County and into Bath County as of now. But the lightning with that is starting to come down as well. So the severe thunderstorms across the northern edge of this are going to lose some steam a little faster than the south edge. It is this particular storm that is near Litchfield into Grayson County, heading right on top of the Hart and Hardin County line on Interstate 65. So folks down around Magnolia and toward the Upton area, Bonneville, in the northern parts of Hart County, that's where the possible tornado is heading toward, moving from west to east very, very quickly. More of a precautionary measure with just a quick little spin that is showing up along that line. With or without a tornado, that's likely spitting out some big-time winds as well. Thunderstorms across the region are noisy out there tonight with all kinds of severe thunderstorm warnings into central Kentucky. I want to check out at the airport again. 43 miles an hour is the peak gust that we hit out at Bluegrass Airport on a number of occasions. And it's technically not severe. Those gusts are up there, though. Chances are a lot of folks are going to find their lawn furniture and their patio furniture has been thrown about just a little bit. I'm checking out the power outage map right now. We're up to about 23,000 customers, by the way, across central Kentucky who are without power, courtesy of these storms as they make their way on through the region now. And some of it is lightning. A lot of that, though, is wind, taking some power poles down, knocking down some trees onto lines, and obviously it doesn't take a whole lot to cause some outages. But those winds have been gusting up to 51 miles an hour, just seeing that gust into Nicholas County with that line of strong and severe thunderstorms that continues to make its way on across the area. And I keep looking at that Mason County warning just to see when they're going to let that one expire. And let me see what the Weather Service up in Wilmington, Ohio is saying about that particular warning. We've got flash flood warnings, by the way, that continue into several counties as well, up into areas of northern Kentucky and then back toward the Louisville metro. That's how Kentucky Derby week is starting off into the Louisville area with flash flooding. I know they got a big day out at the track coming up later today, which, by the way, looks to be in pretty good weather shape. After we get rid of this line of thunderstorms early this morning, by the time we make our way into the afternoon, we're going to be seeing better weather and then another round of some strong and severe thunderstorms that'll target our part of the world as we go into the middle and latter part of the evening. But these severe thunderstorms lining up now from Vanceburg, Flemingsburg, back into Montgomery County, Bath County, right on top of Clark County, Richmond. You're getting ready to get a big burst of wind that comes through there that may be 50 plus miles per hour as it makes its way across the Richmond Center area, Red House over toward Waco, and eventually some of that will get into Estill County, parts of Powell County, but by then we should begin to see more of a weakening trend. Now we've allowed the severe thunderstorm warnings to expire back here into Harrodsburg and Danville because those are more noisemakers than anything else. You could probably hear the noise, by the way, coming through my mic here at the station on Winchester Road with the thunder that is booming and the rain that is pounding down where we have picked up on the just this particular event so far out at Bluegrass Airport. We are, what, about 3/4 of an inch or so? About 8/10 of an inch. So we play our cards right, we may pick up better than an inch of rain into Lexington and many areas as well before the night is through. That is one of the good things. The reason, folks, that we have been in such bad shape so far this spring in terms of dry conditions is because we've had no severe weather really to speak of. This is our first round of severe weather for the entire month of April. And it's coming with just, 2 days left in the entire month? That is absolutely insane. This may be the quietest April that I've been through. And I've been at this for a few days now. Okay, maybe a few years now, right? Okay, a couple decades. Who's counting? But your radar is lighting up with all kinds of showers and thunderstorms that'll continue to make their way throughout central and eastern Kentucky. New severe thunderstorm warning into Rowan County over into Elliott County as well. That'll likely get issued for numerous counties, but this line, the farther east and southeast that we go, will begin to lose some steam, and it'll pick up the forward speed as well. So we'll watch all these storms, including that little piece of real estate that is under a tornado warning here into southern Hardin County and northern parts of Hart County, and back into Grayson County. Just a small piece of real estate on the Hardin and Hart County line that has that possibility of a weak tornado passing through there. For the rest of the region, these thunderstorms are loud. They're producing a lot of wind, a lot of rain, but an overall weakening trend into most of central and eastern Kentucky is likely as we go through the next couple of hours. Beneficial rains, but coming at a bit of a stormy price out there. Lexington, north and west, you know what? Sleep well. If you can sleep with the thunder. Our severe weather threat is greatly diminished now for the Bluegrass region and north. Still watching that severe threat roughly from Vanceburg to Richmond, and then back to just to the south of E-Town with that line of thunderstorms dropping in northwest to southeast and losing a little bit of steam the farther south and southeast that we go with that particular line of thunderstorms. We'll check back with the WKYT tower cam because it's not raining as hard as what we were dealing with a little bit ago. I want to take our camera, though. We'll aim it more toward that southern and eastern sky where we're going to catch more lightning showing up on this cam. That's for perspective's sake. We're looking across Hamburg Pavilion. That would be our vantage point. How about that light show that is coming from the sky? So we're looking toward Clark County and Madison County in that particular view. That lightning strike was not too far away because we heard the thunder very quickly here at the station. But this, you know, our tower cam, it's only 300 feet up. The tower itself goes about 1,100 feet. If we put this any higher, we may be up in the clouds at times. That's why we only put it 300 feet up. So a quick recap, severe thunderstorm warnings out for a number of counties. A lot of those counties, though, will see the severe weather diminishing as we go through the next hour and change. Keep it right here with us here on WKYT. Miss Alexa Minton is in the house now. She's going to take you all the way through WKYT News. That'll be starting actually not that long from now, right? About an hour and a half, 2 hours, something like that. Goodness gracious. All right, kids, keep it right here on WKYT. We'll keep you up to date as these storms continue to make their way across the region into the overnight.
If your loved one was hurt in a crash,
turns out that all they want is enough staff so that nobody ever has to work more than a 15-hour shift again.
And how much is that going to cost?
10% of the new equipment fund.
So all we need to do.
Hello, everyone. We've got another tornado warning that we are tracking this evening. Want to keep you all updated right now. It is currently right in the Rowan County area south of Moorhead. I'm going to zoom into it and talk a little bit more about this tornado warning box. You can see it's like it's going right over 519, just off 60. Again, in southern portions of Rowan County, just stretching from our friends off near Owensville. You can see this warning that's stretching all the way over to southern Rowan County. It's currently over parts of Cave Run area. Definitely want to make sure you're seeking shelter if you are currently in this tornado warning box right now. It's from that line of storms we've been tracking and talking about all the evening long. Obviously, a lot of severe thunderstorm alerts have been happening from this system. Let's get a little bit more information about it as we track it right now. It's going to last until 3:15 this morning. Again, it includes just the edge parts of Bath County off towards the southeast side of Owensville and heads into southern Rowan County. Looks like it stops right along the edge there. So make sure if you are in this area, again, southeast of Owensville into southern Rowan County, go ahead and take some shelter right now. We are tracking this tornado warning as it comes in. Let's get a little closer look at this system as it pushes through. Good news is we aren't too concerned right now about this kink in the storm system. We have been seeing a lot of these tornado warnings fire up because of these smaller kinks in our area. One thing you're going to notice right now is it's a pretty noisy line of storms that's pushing through our skies. So again, just make sure you're seeking shelter as it comes out. It's in southeastern portions of Bath County, headed over into the Moorhead area, just south of Moorhead. Folks, if you're in this area, it's a good idea to go ahead and head to the basement. I know everyone's got their severe weather plans. Go ahead and make your way into the basement for this system. We are tracking it right now as this tornado warning is set to last until 3:15 roughly for these skies. One thing you're going to notice right now is it's also surrounded by severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got quite a busy radar stretch right now. There's also a tornado warning down near our friends south of Elizabethtown, just north of Hardyville. We're keeping our eye on that one. That one should be expiring relatively soon as well. All these severe thunderstorm warnings have been really packing a punch for parts of our area. Now, Lexington just went through a heavy bout of rain. That's the same bout that we're now seeing head over in the direction of this system. Not too much of rotation once we take a look at it. Just enough that it warrants a tornado warning. I'm always along the lines of taking better safe than sorry, though, for parts of your forecast. Obviously, we want to make sure folks are staying safe. Again, that's set to last all the way until 3:15. It's paired with a bunch of severe thunderstorm warnings at this moment. So it's kind of embedded within all this action. If you're in areas like West Liberty, Frenchburg, you're still under those severe thunderstorm warnings right now. Grayson, Kentucky, be ready. We got a lot of action headed your direction at this moment in time as well. It's just some really noisy storms, strong wind gusts, and it's loaded with some thunder and lightning at this moment in time. I'm talking quite a bit of thunder and lightning for our skies for this area. One thing you're going to notice is this tornado warning is relatively small for the box that we are taking a look at. Let's get rid of this. There we go. There's a little bit better of a look. Again, that tornado warning is going to be lasting until 3:15. It's for our friends that are currently southeast of Owensville. It's over parts of I'm saying areas near Salt Lick, Lick Fork, Cogswell area, near Cave Run area as well. It's going to be headed your way, Lick Fork next. Anyone living along 519. And I'm going to go ahead and call out Craney. Y'all aren't quite in that tornado warning just yet. But you need to make sure you're staying weather aware. Let's be tracking this front line of the storms as they come out. Looks like we're starting to talk about Bangor. It's going to head your direction here at 246. Craney, 254. Blair's Mills, it's going to be there at 301. Lytton 307. So it's a pretty quick moving system that we're looking at right now as it heads our way. You want to make sure you are taking things very slow. Let's take a look at our relative watches across the state. Again, that tornado warning that we are on the air for, we are tracking at this moment in time. It's officially out of the area that's under a severe thunderstorm watch, under a tornado watch. Those areas are still in effect, but that's not where this warning is right now. And here's just a bare bones look at all of our warnings for our area. So you want to make sure you're taking some shelter. That initial tornado warning that was over near our friends in Hardyville has expired. Still seeing quite a few severe thunderstorm warnings for our friends near Elizabethtown at this moment in time. And right now we're on the air for that very small tornado warning that's in parts of southeastern Bath County, headed into Rowan County. It's a very small box you can see in red right here. If you're in that area, go ahead and take shelter. These are some really noisy storms. They're packing a punch as they push through this line of thunderstorms. We hear that thunder cracking at the station right now. It has been a mess overnight. Really strong wind gusts reported across the state. Heavy water. We're seeing some localized flooding concerns from this system. If we focus in right now on this warning, you can see just enough rotation for us to start talking about that warning. That's why the National Weather Service issued it. Better safe than sorry. It's got a little bit of a kink in that thunderstorm line, which is why we're focused in on this warning that's happening. It's paired with a few severe thunderstorm warnings. We've got that severe thunderstorm warning stretching through Carter, Greenup, and Lawrence County, as well as another severe thunderstorm warning stretching through Bath, Elliott, Menifee, Morgan, and Rowan counties. Again, Bath and Rowan counties are where this tornado warning is at. You can see it right here on the southeast side of Owensville, headed down towards our friends, just touching the southern Rowan County line. Going to last until 3:15. If you're joining us now, this tornado warning is because of a little kink that's in the system currently. It's right along that line of storms A little kink has happened in that thunderstorm line, enough for us to go ahead and trigger that tornado warning from the National Weather Service. I always say better play safe than sorry. Go ahead and seek shelter. Interior room in your home is where you should be headed, or if you can, go to the lowest lying area, basement preferably, and go to one of those interior rooms as well. Make sure you're protecting your head. That's the one thing we always say during tornado warnings. You always want to make sure you're protecting your head. This is a pretty noisy line of thunderstorms we've been tracking, and it's coming down the stretch right now. Again, that tornado warning is going to expire in parts of Rowan County, but I still want some other folks to make sure they're staying aware because they've got the noisy systems around that initial warning box headed their direction. Banger, y'all are starting to already see some action here, especially around 2:54 was when your forecast is to start seeing some action. Our friends in Blair's Mills, you guys are going to end up seeing some really noisy storms. You're just on the edge of that tornado warning box at this moment in time. 3:01 is your timing for when you're going to see this action. And our friends in Lytton right now, that's our next one. 3:07 for you to see some action headed your direction. It's been a pretty active night. I know y'all have been hanging out with Chris all evening long as we track this line of storms. Obviously, we've been talking about a lot of action happening across the board. Quite a few strong wind gusts have been reported as well for this system. So make sure you're staying weather aware as we continue to track all this. Again, a line of very noisy thunderstorms have been tracking across our skies. Want to make sure everyone's staying weather aware as we track all the latest for our area. That tornado warning box is currently in southeastern portions of Bath County and parts of Rowan County as well. It's going to last until 3:15. They've let the back edge of that box just now officially expire. They are still tracking it right now for updates on all the latest. Make sure you're staying weather aware. If you are in this tornado warning box, it's going to last until 3:15 for our skies right now, guys. So make sure you're staying weather aware if you are in this area. Want to make sure we are tracking all the latest for this system. Again, they're slowly letting the back end of that box expire, headed out of our friends here in the Owensville area. Some reminders on tornado safety that everyone needs to make sure they are taking care of themselves, especially when we start talking about a tornado warning. Seek some safe shelter. Your safest place is always your basement. Like I mentioned earlier, go to an interior room on the first floor. Evacuate mobile homes if you are in this area. And as always, protect your head. That's the most important thing for systems like these. We're still keeping our eye on this system. It's still set to expire in parts of southern Rowan County. I'm still flagging some of our friends in areas like Blair's Mills. You can see it's surrounded by some severe thunderstorm warnings. The back edge of this box has just expired for our severe thunderstorm warning that's lasting in Carter, Green up in Lawrence County. Again, this box is getting smaller and smaller as we track it through our skies. Severe thunderstorm warning still lasting through 3:15. Bath, Elliott, Menifee, Morgan, and Rowan counties. You can see it just grabs areas like Frenchburg and West Liberty in the mix for this system. You want to make sure you're taking things very slow. Go ahead and go down to that safe spot in your home. Obviously, these are some pretty noisy storms, and part of the reason we've seen that issue alerted is because of this kink in the line of storms. It's been happening all throughout parts of the overnight where we've been seeing this small kink in this thunderstorm line trigger at least a tornado warning. So let's take another look at the velocity or that rotation inside the system. Right now, there wasn't too much of an intense rotation inside that system, but what you are noticing, it's just enough for us to be seeing that tornado warning right now. They might extend it over into some of our friends in the Menifee County area. Wouldn't be surprised if we see an extension into that region as well. Right now, we are certainly tracking this tornado warning. It's set to expire here at 3:15, everyone. So if you are in this area right now, I'm talking Rowan County, parts of Morgan County as well. You are not in that tornado warning, but this is what we're looking at, that line, that kink in the storms. That's what you want to make sure you're keeping an eye on right now as we track all the latest from this tornado warning. Let's take a larger look again at that radar. That initial tornado warning we were tracking for our friends south of Elizabethtown, it's expired, and now we've just got this eye on this system that's headed near our friends in Moorhead as well. Obviously a pretty noisy system for this area. You can see that box is now officially out of our friends in around Bath County area. It is just now focused in for our friends in southern Rowan County. Let's get an update on those alerts for severe thunderstorms. Obviously, we are still tracking. It's got the very, very edge of this parts of Bath County in the mix. It's going to last through 3:15, everyone. If you're joining me now, that's about around roughly, 21 more minutes for our skies. 22 more minutes for our area. I want to make sure everyone's staying safe. This is a good time to go ahead and seek some shelter for your area, especially if you are in this specific red box we've got going on right here. That's that line that we are worried about. Some really noisy storms right now headed over that region for our skies. Let's take another larger look across the board at this radar. Talk about a noisy overnight for our skies. I mean, not a lot of stop for this system as it's pushed through our area. We've seen plenty of severe thunderstorm warnings in our area. And now the reason we're on the air is for this specific tornado warning that's in County, just in the edge of Bath County. It's going to last until 3:15. Part of the reason it's been issued is all night long we've seen this line of severe thunderstorms. It's been getting little kinks in the line, and just enough for us to see some severe weather alerts issued. Very noisy thunderstorms as they're passing through, loaded with the thunder and lightning. Notice it does expire right along the Rowan County line, but there are still severe thunderstorm warnings paired with this system. So yes, this tornado warning is being allowed to expire on the back edge. It's going to last until at least 3:15. Probably it'll expire a little earlier if you are in this red box shaded region. So very southeast corner of Bath County, southern Rowan County right now. I know it includes a lot of our friends in the Cave Run area. I'm going to go ahead and tell you to go inside, seek some shelter, go down to the lowest lying floor in your home, and then go to the most interior room. Make sure you're protecting your head as well, and just bring us with you if you can. Take us with you. I'm going to walk you through all of this as we're tracking this in the overnight. Never a good time for severe weather. Worst time is obviously the overnight. Obviously, it's going to shake a lot of folks up. We've got these severe thunderstorm warnings stretching through areas like West Liberty, Sandy Hook. It's Carter, Greenup, and Lawrence County for that initial severe thunderstorm warning. And we've got another severe thunderstorm warning lasting through 3:15 for parts of Bath, Elliott, Menifee, Morgan, and Rowan counties. That's where we're pairing it with the tornado warning right now. You can see it's moving pretty quickly. It's already in the Blair's Mills area. We're seeing it impact our friends in parts of Minor Kentucky. Let's redraw these timing lines and see if we can get some more information about where it is headed. It's moving pretty quick, y'all, for this system as it comes through our skies. So you just want to make sure you are taking things, head down to the basement, take things very seriously with systems like this. I know I mentioned that they're issuing these for kinks in the system. Doesn't mean we're not going to take it any less seriously. So Blair's Mills, y'all have about 1 minute before those storms start to get really heavy for your skies. We're looking at our friends in Wrigley, 3:04. Now I want to emphasize Blair's Mills, Wrigley, Big Stone, Sandy Hook, Burke. Y'all are not in that tornado warning. You are in a severe thunderstorm warning of this system and watching it track closer towards your area. Just because we're going to see a tornado warning expire doesn't mean the noise is going to stop, doesn't mean the heavy rain is going to stop for this system. And that's why we want to make sure we're staying weather aware as it pushes through our skies. Obviously, quite a bit of action has been happening across the board for this area. Want to make sure you are taking things very slowly as you head downstairs to your safe spot. Let's take another look right now at this area that we are focused in on. Looks like that kink is still hanging tight, so they might extend that tornado warning, especially for our friends here in the Wrigley area. I'm going to tell everyone in Wrigley right now, go ahead and make sure you are staying extra safe. That's in Morgan County where we're tracking things headed to next. That tornado warning is not quite in that area. I have a hunch they might expire this back edge in Bath County. Cogswell area, y'all are still dealing with some heavier rain. Same story for Lick Fork, but we're starting to see a lot less when it comes to action and rotation. That's not necessarily our main concern right now. Blair's Mills is about to pick up with some stronger winds in the area. So I want everyone to make sure they're going down to their safe spot as they head out and about for this system that's coming through. So again, Wrigley, I think everyone there needs to go ahead and seek some shelter. Yes, you are in a severe thunderstorm warning, but if they're going to keep this tornado warning active for this kink that's in this severe thunderstorm line, then that's what we need to make sure we are staying wary of. Wouldn't be surprised if they go ahead and continue that severe thunderstorm warning. Let's get another look across parts of the state. Talk about a noisy evening, everyone. A lot of action across the state of Kentucky. Heavy thunderstorms headed down towards our friends in south of Elizabethtown area. That's actually where they have the severe thunderstorm watch. I fear it is not included in for our friends that are over in parts of central Kentucky. Has not been extended all the way over there. They actually left it out of the mix for that tornado warning as well. Very interesting setup and choice for them to be doing in their area. You'll also notice that those warnings, we still have some severe thunderstorm warnings happening outside of that severe thunderstorm watch area. That Rowan County tiny tornado warning is the one that's in red right here. Again, if you are in this watch box, we want you to go ahead, take shelter. Obviously a pretty intense storm system that's sliding through these skies. We want to make sure everyone's staying weather aware as we track all the latest for this system. Noisy storms working their way across Kentucky. We've been seeing plenty of thunder and lightning across the board for our skies. A lot of severe thunderstorm warnings south of Elizabethtown, but let's focus in right now on the double check right now that they've allowed that tornado warning to expire, and now it's just some severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, it was issued because of the kink in this line of storms right here. If you are in your safe space, probably a good idea to just stay put for a couple more minutes. Looks like we've officially gotten rid of that tornado warning. It is out of the area. It's headed into that same line into Morgan County right now. That's where we're tracking it into next. If you are anywhere in northern Morgan County, I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all to go ahead to your basement. It's just a severe thunderstorm warning, but man, is it a noisy one that's headed through our skies. Plenty of thunder and lightning. This line that we were initially looking at, though, is breaking up. Wrigley area, make sure you are taking things slow and safe. Lenox, DeHart to Blair's Mills, you definitely want to watch out as it pushes through our skies. Obviously, it's a noisy night. We've officially done the handoff from your very own Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey into myself. So I'm going to keep tracking all these severe thunderstorms. Obviously, a lot of noisy action happening right now in southern portions of the state, southwestern portions of the state, and we still got a lot of noisy action happening all throughout eastern Kentucky. So make sure you're staying weather aware, stay safe, and stick with WKYT as we track all the latest for these noisy storms. Again, that tornado warning that was in parts of southern Rowan County, as well as our friends that are currently in southeastern Bath County, has officially expired. Stick with us here on WKYT. We're going to keep tracking all the latest. I'll let y'all get a little bit more sleep for now. Just make sure you're in an interior room.
Did you remember to defrost the chicken?
Oh, I didn't. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's all right.
I guess cereal for dinner?
Cereal it is. Hey, how was practice?
A year and a half in the bathroom with the door locked, holding on to the toilet.
Hey everyone, just wanted to do another check-in. It's meteorologist Alexa Minton here. We still got quite a few noisy storms, and I'm keeping my eye on right now a tornado warning that's headed just close towards our area. Russell and Casey County, it's coming awfully close towards your area. We got quite a few noisy thunderstorms headed across the state right now. Let's talk a little bit more about those severe thunderstorm warnings. You can see just southeast of Campton, headed along the Mountain Parkway. A lot of thunderstorm action happening through parts of Owsley County right now. It's headed towards y'all in Perry County, Hazard area as well. You can see that these thunderstorms right now, a load of lightning. That's part of the reason why they're causing these problems out there. It is a really strong, impactful system. I want to talk about this line of a tornado warning right now. It's right now currently in Adair, Greene, and Taylor counties. Keeps getting the back edge expired even closer and closer. That lightning surrounding Campbellsville, just a mess right now. If you're in areas like Adair, Casey, Greene, Lincoln, Russell, and Taylor counties, I'm specifically calling out our friends in Casey County and Russell County. They're officially in our area. It's where you cross from Louisville over into our Lexington area. You do have some severe thunderstorming are going to last until 2:45. Pretty active line of storms is headed downstream your direction, so I want everyone to be staying safe. This tornado warning was issued because of a nice kink. It's been happening all throughout our overnight in the line of storms. If you are in this area, it's a good idea right now to seek some shelter. We all know the drill. You need to go to the lowest floor of your home and then make sure you go to an interior room. Cover your head as you do so. We're going to be tracking your thunderstorm warning and this tornado warning. Again, if you're in Casey and Russell County, things are about to get pretty noisy for you. Just wanted to hop on the air and flag one more time for all of these alerts. Right now, that is active, still dealing with a few severe thunderstorm warnings as we track this all night long. Make sure you're staying safe and stick with WKYT as we track all the latest.
Into nothing.
Yes.